Hello everyone and welcome to episode 97 of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast.
Mad.
Yeah. I'm your host Jonathan Radford and today I'm joined by Dav Gape.
Hello there.
I've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. Some people have issues with it. Have you seen any of the episodes yet?
Yeah, all four of them.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have some minor concerns about it, but I've stopped caring about Star Wars in that way.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I've genuinely really enjoyed it, and because I don't hate. I'm not going to get into a whole Star Wars thing, but like I don't hate the prequels as much as some people do. Like they're silly. They're really silly. So and they came around when I was like 9, so I have a nostalgia for them that maybe like older people don't. So yeah, it's just been fun, and Ewan McGregor, he's really good. He's really good. He's really good.
Isn't he?
But yeah, we're not a Star Wars podcast. We're a gaming podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify and others, like loads of places. We're gonna get into the news because there's a lot of news. There's so much news.
Summer Games Fest.
So I'm gonna start with Xbox because that was fun, and Summer Games Fest was not. I'm just gonna, so basically what I'm going to do is I've got a list of games that are coming out from Xbox this year, and list of games that come out for Xbox next year. A lot of these are on Game Pass. Some of them won't be. I'll probably say if they're not on Game Pass because I don't think there's many. Anyway, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, we'll go through them, and Dav, you stop me if you want to talk about this game, okay?
Okay.
And I'll do the same, but I'll try and keep it as snappy as possible because there's so much news. Okay, As Dusk Falls.
Is that the graphic novel style multiplayer one?
I think so, yeah.
It looks really cool. By a new studio. Really love the graphic art style. Looks like really interesting narrative choices being made in that game. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I really didn't like the look of that at all. It made me feel sick. It made me feel sick. I feel like there is a game that we will definitely agree on, though. Okay. I'm convinced there's a game that we'll definitely agree on. Atomic Heart. I actually can't remember that one.
We didn't see it this year.
Okay, so some of these, that's a good point actually. Some of these games are not actually, some of the games weren't shown. This is just a list of games they announced at the end, a big list. The Callisto Protocol, which we've seen previously, the Sony
Spooky Dead Space.
Yep, looks good.
Not Dead Space, yeah.
They spoke about Elder Scrolls Online, High Isle. Fallout 76 Expeditions, The Pit. Not Brad Pitt, The Pit. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels looks fucking amazing.
It does look very silly.
It actually looks so stupid that I was so hyped. And I played Forza Horizon for about 5 minutes. I'll probably play 10 minutes with Hot Wheels. Grounded.
It's getting an official release in September, yeah.
That I'm really excited about. I will definitely give that a go. It looks really good. And I remember you playing the
beta.
Yeah, the beta stuff. Yeah, it looks really fun. Yeah, it looks really fun.
It was really fun when you're playing with someone.
Yes, yeah. I think I'm gonna. One of my friends really wanted to play it, so I think maybe I'll give it a go with him.
Get me involved.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
into that.
I will give you a shout. Gunfire Reborn. Can't remember what this was. They didn't mention Hell and Neighbor 2. That again, that was just on the list. High on Life. Did they mention that? High on Life?
Yes, High on Life is the very silly. I think it's the very silly one made by the Rick and Morty guys.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
The faces on the guns.
That would make sense. Yes, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it's...
Lightyear Frontier. That was the one with the woman with the old-timey weapon in... I can't remember. So there were so many games. There was literally like 30
that was the
games.
the mech farming one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was that one. Which one am I thinking of?
Old-timey...
There was like an old-timey gun-slinging one. I can't remember.
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. But that actually looked really fun. I kind of like the look of that. It kind of looked like Stardew Valley in space.
Is that on Game Pass?
That is on Game Pass.
Sweet.
I think every game so far, apart from Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, has been on Game Pass.
Sick.
And Callisto Protocol. Which is good. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the 40th Anniversary Edition, had loads of cool planes and stuff.
Including Halo Pelican.
Yes, it did have that, and that was quite cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I really enjoyed playing it. I played Microsoft Flight Simulator for a couple of hours. Not too long, but it was fun.
Nice.
I just never know what to do with those games. Like while just blindly flying around, like I never know what to do. And I was like, I need some direction. Is it Naraka Blade Point? I don't remember that game.
Oh, mate, that was that rubbish game that came out on PS Plus a few months ago.
I don't remember that one.
It's like a ninja battle royale, and it sucked hard.
Oh, yes, I remember that one now. Yes, I remember that. Overwatch 2, not on Game Pass, but free to play. So it doesn't need to be on Game Pass. That looked quite good. I think a lot of people would be very happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know what was. I mean, I'm not that into Overwatch 1, so like as far as like looking at the Overwatch 2 trailer and being like, oh, that's what's new, that I couldn't really tell you what was new. Looking for the campaign though that's supposed to be in it.
I played Overwatch 1 with some of my pals from my coding course, and they're all on the computers and I was on my console and I got wrecked because it's it was a lesson learned. Party Animals, I don't remember that one.
Party Animals wasn't shown, but it looks very much like Gang Beasts.
Okay, there we go. Now, this is the game which I think you really might enjoy, because I showed Rosie it, and she was like, I want to play this game. Pentiment.
Yes, mate, this game
looks amazing! Honest to God, like, I was so chuffed with this. It's got
Explain the game to us, Jonny.
It's so weird, because it looks like it's set in, like, the 1400s, or like the Middle Ages kind of time, and the way it's stylized is like one of like you'd see like a tapestry, one of those old tapestries. It's stylized like that. It's so cool. It's
and who's making it?
Obsidian, which is mad.
They are firing on all cylinders.
Honestly, like I saw that and I was watching it going, this might be my favorite game so far. It looked amazing. Yeah,
you've got Avowed, Grounded. Pentiment. Something else. Oh, they released that multiplayer game, didn't they? Oh, was that Ninja Theory? That was Ninja Theory. What else have Obsidian made recently? They've made something else.
I can't remember.
Oh, Outer Worlds.
Oh, there we go. I mean, and they're making a second one as well, which is crazy.
They've got Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Pentiment, Grounded. They've probably got another Pathfinder or Pillars of Eternity game in the works.
Yeah.
Mad.
Obsidian.
They are amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of, so this is another game, and again, really, 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 I'm so happy it's come to Xbox, but I will only ever play, I'm laying this down now, I will only ever play this game properly if it comes to Switch. Persona 5 Royal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to play this game. I really want to play Persona 5. I think I will absolutely love it. I've heard so many people say how good it is. The music sounds incredible. The story is supposed to be brilliant, but I can't sink 120 hours into a game on a console anymore.
In front of the TV,
yeah. I just can't do it. It has to be on Switch. Apparently, it is coming to Switch. Those are rumors. I don't know if it actually is.
Despite years of requests, Persona still isn't coming to Switch.
Well, I'm gonna wait till the Direct. I'm gonna see. Because I feel like they might. If it does come to Switch, I think it might get announced in the Direct.
And if it doesn't get announced at the Direct, it's not coming to Switch.
Then just stop everything.
It's coming to Steam. It's coming to PS5.
I think the thing that does help, I guess, is that it'll probably be on cloud gaming, which is good. Maybe
it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass, so yeah. Scorn, that game looked horrific. I don't ever want to see that game ever again.
Yep.
Genuinely, if you've not seen Scorn, just imagine like a nightmare. Yeah. And then that's it.
Imagine like,
and not like an interesting kooky way. It was like genuinely like awful.
Imagine all the horrific things you've ever seen in Stranger Things, but in space, in a spaceship designed on the bodies of the things in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And there are just eyes and holes and things in holes everywhere.
Oh, what's that word? There's
phobia.
Yeah, there's a phobia specifically about
it's like
holes, isn't it?
Pocophobia or something. I don't know.
Anyone that has that phobia would literally just have to never play that game.
There
were holes everywhere. But yeah, it looked awful. I mean, someone's gonna love it, but to me, I mean, awful in the sense that I couldn't bring myself to play it. Sea of Thieves, and they had a wicked song.
Yep.
That song alone made me want to play it. I was singing it for the whole day. Yeah, that looked fun. Again, Sea of Thieves feels like a game I need to play with my pals. And
But now with this new update, whether you can make your own ship and design it how you want, so every time you load in, it's your ship. You can be the captain of your own ship.
That is pretty cool.
They are trying to get those single player people in as well.
Yes, that is true. That is true. By the way, these are all games coming out this year, so like it is mad. And then there's a couple more left. So Slime Rancher 2, Somerville, Valheim.
Somerville didn't get shown, but made by one of the two founders of the Playdead who made Inside and Limbo.
Oh, yes.
And we did see the game from the other creators because they split off. And I've got to say, Somerville, for me, is so much more interesting than the other game. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Valheim and Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, which will also be on Game Pass.
Dark Tide looks sick. We need to play that.
Yep. Okay, let's move to games coming up for next year, because this is, I guess, more of the meatier ones. This is the meatier ones. So we had, is it? I don't know if it's ARA or ARA History Untold. This is like the Civilization-looking game. This is the one where like was that
connection cut out between this one, so you have to tell me what this one is.
Yeah, it was basically they didn't show gameplay, but the way they spoke about it was maybe they did show gameplay, but it was so. It kind of looked like Civilization. The way they were describing it was like Civilization, but I'd have to see more of it to get more of an idea. It is coming to Game Pass, so obviously that helps. So just have to wait and see if there's more of it. Arc 2 and
Vin Diesel
was riding a dinosaur as he does.
Yeah.
Is it Dead Space was shown? No, actually, Dead Space wasn't shown. It's just on the list.
It wasn't shown.
Sorry, it's on my list. That's why. It's just showing games coming to Game Pass and Xbox next year. Dead Space was there. Diablo 4. Now, that was a big thing, because that's the first time they've shown gameplay.
Yeah.
Is it the first time they've shown gameplay?
It is.
They've announced, like, classes, haven't they? But this is the first time they've actually gone gameplay. Yeah. Boom.
It looks really good, but, man, like, Blizzard. Like, gross.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm
does.
not touching an Activision or Blizzard game until at least the Microsoft acquisition and a big old blog post saying how they are getting all those dirty bastards out of there and completely changing everything. Only when that happens will I start to care about Activision or Blizzard.
Well, Activision have just had to accept a union, one of the first gaming unions in America, which is amazing, and hopefully everyone unionizes in the gaming industry, because it is needed. It is very much needed. But it does, like, again, it does look very good. It looked so smooth. It looked buttery smooth. It looked very, very smooth. What else have we got? Flintlock is the game I was thinking of.
Yes,
I think that was the game with the lady with the old timey.
Yes.
Gun.
Doesn't really interest me.
She looked cool, but the game didn't interest me, is what I would say.
Yeah, it just looked. There was just no interesting thing in it. You know, it was just like, this is a video game.
Yeah. Speaking of a video game, Forza Motorsport. That game looks gorgeous.
Oh my god. It looks so gorgeous.
That game has the potential to kill Gran Turismo as well, because one, it's coming on Game Pass, and two, it doesn't seem to be doing any stupid, shady things, like stopping you from playing the game if you haven't spent enough money, or just stopping you from playing the game.
Yeah.
So, really excited about that. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. This looked awesome.
It did look awesome.
Very cute. At first, I thought, okay, it's just Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. But it wasn't Luigi's Mansion. It was more like an Inside Limbo type Metroidvania.
Yeah. So it'll be really interesting how this game plays, because I couldn't really get a grasp of how we're going to be progressing through the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks mad.
It does look good. It does look I was very intrigued. And again, Game Pass, which is good. Then there was loads of League of Legends stuff, which I know nothing about.
But that's a huge
deal. Huge deal. Like, League of Legends is massive. And there's like loads of, I think there's like 4 games coming to PC and mobile. If you have Game Pass, I'm sorted. Minecraft Legends, there's a new game from the Minecraft series. What would you describe it as looking like? It was slightly confusing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think that's interesting, at least. It's
just kind of like Minecraft doing their weird like side project again. It could be awesome. It could be fine. It could be somewhere in between, but who knows?
I think this is going to be bigger than Dungeons.
It looks better than Dungeons.
I mean, the way they started the trailer, like a new game from Mojang, makes you feel like, oh, this is got some legs behind it.
Yep.
Like they are gonna ride this one and support it. So we'll see.
Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are coming to Game Pass. They're also just been announced as coming to Sony as well as PC, Steam, and everything else as well. The only thing it hasn't been announced for currently is the Switch. I'll go back to it. I am convinced it's coming. Whether that gets announced in the next Direct, who knows? Ravenlock. I don't remember this one. You'll have to recheck my memory.
Ravenlock, I'm not sure that was shown last week.
Maybe not.
Ravenlock, it's not even coming up here.
We'll skip it. And we'll move to Redfall.
Yes.
Dav, what are your thoughts on Redfall? Because for me, it just looks like Dishonored, and I'm totally down with that.
It looks like 4-player Dishonored with some pretty cool abilities. I am in love with that purple elevator. And I look forward to playing it with some buddies.
Yeah, I honestly, I saw that and I was like, I love so much. What's the company called? My brain's gone. It's because
Arcane.
Arcane. I knew it was an A. I love Deathloop. Deathloop's awesome. Like that was one of my favorite games from last year. Dishonored 2 is one of my favorite games from the last couple of years. I'm really excited. Really, really excited. Tickled my fancy. Replaced.
I thought the game.
Ooh,
yes, I thought the gameplay for Redfall didn't really blow my mind, but I know that it's a reliable studio, and the IP is at least interesting. It's one of the more interesting vampire things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. It felt interesting and new, and also wasn't taking itself too seriously, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't go too far.
Yeah,
become too self-referential.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're doing this thing, but let's do this thing because we're gonna die otherwise. There's a nice balance to be had. It looked like the balance was there. Replaced. I don't remember Replaced.
Replaced wasn't shown on the weekend.
That's why.
Looks really, really cool, Jonny. This is one of the coolest indie games coming to Game Pass in the next year.
They also announced the Resident Evil 4 remake is coming to the Xbox consoles.
Not necessarily Game Pass.
Not Game Pass. It is coming, but it's not on Game Pass. They didn't announce Stalker 2, but it has previously. It is now announced that it's coming out in 2023.
Yes,
for obvious reasons. Stalker 2 was obviously the development was postponed because the studio is based in Ukraine. So that is hopefully going to come next year. I'm going to leave the next one, which you can probably guess because of an S, because that's probably going to be the biggest one to talk about. The other 3 games come in next year that we've got announcements for: Teamfight Tactics, Valorant, and Wolong Fallen Destiny. Which, as soon as I saw Wolong Fallen Destiny, my thought process was this. I thought it was Neo for a while. I've never played.
Me too.
I think it is made by one of the people from that
Team Ninja.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it is.
I'm pretty sure I made Neo.
So it looked interesting. It looked really interesting. I'm gonna have to see more. I need to see more before I make a decision on whether I get it. I mean, it is coming to Game Pass, so I don't need to get it, I guess. But before I try it, and obviously the biggest game and the game that they probably put the most time into is Starfield.
Oh,
now. I have a number of thoughts about Starfield.
Yeah.
Like, when they got to the end and he said 1,000 planets, I genuinely, I had a shudder. Like, I was a bit like, I'll probably see 5. I'll probably get to like 5 planets. Like, I get why they're doing it because they want this like idea of like this massive like vastness of space. But honestly, like that was slightly overwhelming. However, the gameplay looks. It does just... The combat looks like Wolfenstein, and the way the combat was playing looked like... Reminded me so much of Wolfenstein, which would make sense, because Bethesda. I don't know, man. I think it looks awesome. Like
I think it looks really cool. Yeah, that vastness is intimidating. But obviously, what they can't get... Well, you get like a game like Skyrim, right? It's like you can walk along a mountain, you're like, what's this little cave in the mountain that I didn't know was here and isn't on the map? Yeah. It's like, well, there's going to be some of those, right? But it's not a mountain, instead it's a galaxy. And it's not just one galaxy, but it's many galaxies. Yeah. So...
100 galaxies, they said?
God knows. It's something mad.
It's ridiculous.
So there'll be plenty of things for people to be chewing away at for years, and you bet they're going to have DLC as well. Yeah. So this is going to be the next Skyrim. I think more so than Elder Scrolls 6.
It was really interesting because some people in general, so I'll wrap this up as a whole thing because it kind of ties in together. Some people were really disappointed by Starfield and the event in general, and I was just like, why? There were so many things, and like it was one of the few events where everything they announced, every single thing they spoke about is coming out within the next 12 months. Every single thing is coming out in the next 12 months.
In theory.
Yeah, and there's one thing we missed. There's one thing that's not even on this list. It's freaking Hollow Knight.
Kojima. Oh, and Hollow Knight.
And Hideo Kojima. Like, they're both... I mean, the Hideo Kojima thing is that I don't think it's got a title yet. So it's Hideo Kojima's like game, which is based on the cloud, which is going to be mad. Apparently, it's supposed to be with Google. It was an original project they had with Google, and obviously Stadia went tits up. She's like, okay, well, I'll go to Microsoft because they have awesome stuff. And Silksong. We finally got footage of Silksong,
which we know is more than a year away.
Well, I think it's at least a year. I think most of these, it is definitely coming.
Yeah, but it's not on this list, so it's over a year away at least.
It's not. Well, it's not because I saw them. I don't know why it's not on this list. It's weird because I saw someone ask Xbox specifically saying, "Is this coming out in the next 12 months?" I don't know why it's not on this list, but it is apparently coming out in the next 12 months. I don't know why it's not on the list. But going back to Starfield in general, a lot of people like were disappointed as if like it looked like a rip-off of No Man's Sky, but I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just kind of one of those things where like No Man's Sky. Yeah, it is a very cool idea what No Man's Sky did, but like going into space and traveling around and visiting planets is not a new idea.
Yeah, like Star Trek. It's a rip-off of Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if it's anything, it is a rip-off of Star Trek. But I'm super excited. I did hear some people call it what do they call it? No Man's Skyrim, which I thought was quite funny.
That is very good.
But yeah, that was trending yesterday, which I thought was really funny. But I'm so excited. I am super excited. Only thing I was gutted about the whole thing is it didn't get a date for Starfield.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted like a month or like like summer, spring. We know what's coming. We know what's coming at least. If it's coming out in the next year, it has to come up before summer 2023.
I think March is probably a good month for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think March would make sense.
Maybe April.
6 months. I actually saw someone as well saying anyone doing quality testing for that game is
good luck.
Like 1,000 planets.
Yeah,
finding all of those bugs. Like that's probably genuinely what the 6 months is. That's probably not like after they saw what happened with all this Cyberpunk and all these other games, wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I honestly that was one of the best Xbox events I've ever seen. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it had something for everyone, and people that did complain can shush. Because
maybe we're so favourable about it because the Summer Game Fest showcase was so pants.
Well, you mentioned Summer Game Fest, and we're going to move right on to that because it was. I'm not even going to go through all the games because honestly,
no, please don't.
Honestly, about 7 in a row were just basically space games, horror games. Me and Dav were like, literally, the best thing to happen in the entire event was The Rock topless talking about his fucking energy drink for about 5 minutes. It was the funniest thing ever.
A rubbish trailer for what's probably going to be a rubbish film.
Yeah, it didn't look good, did it?
Like if that's the trailer, what's the film going to be like? The trailer's that rubbish.
It wasn't good, but it was funny. But yeah, it was. And the thing is that I kind of had this feeling it was going to happen because Jeff Keighley beforehand was like, don't set your expectations too high. I was like, well, that's always a great thing. I mean, probably the biggest thing we got really was there was one game actually that I really liked the look of. I'm just going through all the list of names now. What was it? There was a game with the guy who plays Joel from The Last of Us, because we'll talk about The Last of Us now. Really famous voice actor.
Oh yeah. God. Troy Baker.
There was a game that he was in which looked very interesting. It was the most interesting thing anyway, that I saw. But yeah, I guess the biggest thing we have to kind of talk about really is The Last of Us. Both that The Last of Us TV show has wrapped filming as of this week. That was something that they said they were going to do soon.
Fort Solis is the Troy Baker game.
There we are, Fort Solis. Yeah, that looked really, really interesting, I thought. But also that The Last of Us has finally got that remake announced and the multiplayer for The Last of Us Part 2 is actually getting its own game.
Which we kind of knew ahead of. We kind of knew that.
Yeah, so it was a really weird event. And bless Jeff Keighley, that did not need to be 2 hours. The fact that the Xbox event was half an hour shorter and felt like it was infinitely better. So you sometimes don't need to spend 10 minutes going over a game. You sometimes just need 2 minutes.
The Modern Warfare 2 bit.
Oh my
Jesus
god. Right. Seriously, it was really bad. Really bad.
Awful.
The one game I really wanted to see gameplay footage for was the Marvel's Midnight Suns. We didn't actually get gameplay footage for that.
I know, that was the only game I was excited about. Yeah. And the trailer was crap.
I am still interested.
CG. The graphics were really poor.
Yeah.
In that trailer.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's not indicative of what the gameplay is going to be, which is card-based, turn-based,
yeah.
ish.
And I've seen a couple of previews for it, and a lot of people are saying it's good. It's surprisingly good. So I am still excited for that. But yeah, there's really not much to add for that event because the Xbox One just so much better, much better. But
Day of the Devs was really good. As well. Which came just after Summer Games Fest. And also,
yes! Oh, the Plucky Squire.
Devolver Digital with the Plucky Squire.
Oh my god, the Plucky Squire looks amazing! If anyone listening to this now, if you haven't seen a video for, is it the Plucky Squire? Either way, Plucky Squire, it's either or the. Look for the video because that game looks so good.
So delightful, so delicious.
That game,
nom, nom, nom.
That game is everything that's to me looked like everything that's great about indie games because it looks like someone's just gone. I have a vision. I'm just going to go through it. It looked so good. I'm genuinely so hyped about that. Really excited to see what happens with it. But yeah, we've still got a few more events. Square Enix has got an event on when is it? June 16th, Thursday. Yep, specifically for Final Fantasy VII. And their 25th anniversary stream. It's a 10-minute broadcast. I'm convinced we'll get new information about Final Fantasy VII on Thursday. Yep, on this Thursday. That is 11 o'clock in the night. So probably won't stream it because it's quite late, but I'll watch it, I guess. 10 minutes long. It's only 10 minutes long as well.
Okay, yeah.
There's also a Capcom event happening right now. It's not. It's happening in about 2 hours. So I think they're going to show more of Resident Evil 4. Again, I'm not going to stay up and watch that because it's quite late. I'm going to work tomorrow. But I'll catch that in the morning. I'll see what happened in the morning. So there's loads of things happening. And then there's obviously been rumors about the Nintendo Direct. When's it going to happen?
I'm interested on the extended Xbox Game Showcase.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it the same thing but with longer?
I don't know.
Okay, here's what it says here. It will last for 90 minutes, include new trailers, deeper looks at news from the main showcase, and opinions from game creators.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything major here. But if there are any games you wanted to see more of from the Sunday show, it should be worth your while checking in.
Yeah, I think that's going to be stuff like maybe the new Halo season, maybe new stuff for Forza, stuff. I think could be stuff like that, which might not be big enough for, or might not have wasted people's time with that, but stuff that could just be like, you could have read that on an article and go, okay, that's good, rather than being like, oh my god, that's amazing, it's so good. But yeah, loads of events happening this week. I gotta be honest, I've really enjoyed it. Like, it's a great time of the year. I'm really E3 as well has just announced that it's actually coming back next year, so that's going to be really fun as well.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, they've officially announced it. Whether anyone actually goes back now that everyone's doing it on their own, it's all been completely fine without them. So,
and folks, don't sleep on the Annapurna Interactive Showcase coming next month, July. Annapurna, everything they put out is gold.
Yep.
Everything.
I've only got like 2 more stories because I knew it would take ages to get through those 2 things. The first, actually, I'll do the last story first because we probably talk about that a little bit more. And then the last one's about Pokemon. It's just about how much they've sold, and it's ridiculous. But the story I'll talk about now is the North American version of Sony's revamped PlayStation Plus service has gone live today. 400 new titles, 400 titles for the PS4. No, it's coming out on the 23rd. So I think it's coming out in the next 10 days.
So the US was today.
Yes, US was today. Everyone in North America has got that, and it's already live in Asia, not in Japan. I think it's mainland Asia, not Japan, which is weird. You'd think it'd be in Japan first. The UK and Europe, I believe, is going to be the 23rd or around that time, that 21st, 23rd, around about a week to 10 days. I think that's going live. So I will be getting the highest tier to see if it's worth it, and then sub down after that. Although I'm probably if I like it, I'll probably just buy a year in advance. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens there. There was a big thing about the old titles not being 60 hertz or 60 frames per second, and being 50 because that's what PAL is. PAL used to be 50, which is always kind of weird. That I never realized that as a kid. I never realized the games we played were slower than the games the American kids played. Like, I find that absolutely fascinating. Like the games would have been different. They would have played differently. Would have felt different. It's so weird. But yeah, people are very happy because they did not want to play our slow ass versions of their games. But yeah, that went live today. And like I said, with the Pokemon stuff, the Pokemon company has just announced that it sold 60 million. It shipped 60 million Pokemon games in the last financial year, which is bonkers. That is utterly mad. And it's going to keep doing really well. There's a new game coming out. Was it this November 18th, 13th, something like that? Or middle of November, there's another game coming out. And it's going to sell like crazy again. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if come the end of the Switch is live, like 5 of the top 10 Pokemon games. Yeah. Can't really say anything else other than that. Pokemon sells.
Speaking of Nintendo, have you heard the rumored date for the Nintendo Direct?
I have. I didn't know whether you wanted to mention it. I have seen the rumored date. I'm just glad. Yeah. Do we talk about that?
Later this month. Towards the end of this month.
Yeah. But don't expect it this week, but expect it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. When Nintendo Directs get announced, it's like the day before.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, hey, we're doing a Direct tomorrow.
If we could actually get that date leaked 3 weeks ahead of time, perfect. Yeah. Please, so I can arrange myself.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know, please. That'd be very nice. But yeah, let's move on to games we've been playing. And I need a second to remember what games I've been playing because I did not write it down.
Well, in the meantime...
Actually, I completed Resident Evil 3, but Dav, you go.
Nice. So I've been playing quite a few games, actually. So I went to visit a friend in London this weekend that wasn't Jonny. And completed Until Dawn.
Nice.
Which is a really good, cheesy horror game that has flaws, but kind of is more lovable because of it.
Yep.
And The Quarry came out this week, so...
nice.
So played through Until Dawn, and it was really good. Really recommend that if you want a silly time with your friends. It's not multiplayer. All the other games afterwards, they were like, oh wait, this is what people are doing with Until Dawn. They're like taking a character each and stuff. So like we were doing it with just pass the controller back and forth with different characters. And it's really fun, like trying to keep them all alive. And we were not very successful. 3 characters died in the last chapter, in the last 5 minutes of the last chapter.
Oh god!
So intense. Also played a game called Heavenly Bodies, which is an indie game that came out earlier this year on PlayStation. You play as 2 cosmonauts, and it's just stupid physics. And it's like it's one of those couch co-op games where like you're gonna hate the person sitting next to you.
Right. After
about 5 minutes, but you're going to play it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're going to hate everything, and you're going to hate the world.
Yep.
But you're going to carry on playing this game.
That sounds awesome.
It is very silly physics. And yes, lots of silly stuff can happen. And also played Mario Strikers.
Oh man, did you buy it?
No, I didn't, but he did.
Okay.
So we played through all the cups, and we played a lot of 1v1. And the core gameplay is fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good. There are some issues I have with it, and there are some very bad balancing issues that need addressing.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Any character with high technique is just unstoppable.
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Is Rosalina high technique?
Rosalina is pretty good.
I heard someone say that Rosalina is almost unstoppable, which I find really funny because she's just like floating around. Luigi.
Yeah, so you can equip gear that then maxes out his technique, and as long as you're near the halfway line, and you hold down shoot and you do a big shot, instead of because his shooting could be like 4 or whatever, but the technique manages the curve of the shot.
Right, okay.
So it goes like up and around and back and down behind the keeper and like this weird banana shot thing. And you can just do that over and over and over again. We were winning like 9-1.
Jesus.
And in like 4-minute matches. And but that was really fun and that was cool. And also just played a bit of Ninja Gaiden, which was cool, but a bit old school. Where like if you die, you have to go back, and I'm
Really?
like, I'm just not about that life anymore. Sorry, ninjas. But it was cool though. It was nice to sort of get a taste of it anyway, and also played the first hour of the Chinatown Detective Agency, which is a really cool game. It's so like it's point and click, but you're not walking around very much. You don't feel like, oh my god, right, I'll walk through here, I'll look at this item. None of that. But instead of having to go through and like find like, oh, this is part of a wrench, I wonder how this is going to solve a thing. Like you'll be told a piece of information like, oh, the person that you're trying to find got this message on their phone before they disappeared, and it's like a quote, and they're like, right, for you to work out what's going on here, Google it. Like
that's awesome.
It's time for you to go find a phone or a laptop or something, look up this quote, find out who it's by, then go to the library in the city and type in the author or the name of the book that the quote's from, then speak to the librarian and then find the book in the library, find that there's actually letters underlined on certain pages, then then you bribe her to find out who the most recent person that got the book out was.
Right.
Then you go to their apartment and you find that she's got this code, this string of numbers on a laptop, on a computer. So then you take that code, go back to the library, and then you line it up and you get this big string of code and you line up which letters are which, and you have to like type in one by one, right, 117, right, which letter was on page 117? It was an L, okay, and then go on through like that. And then from that clue, you have to work out what it's called, like, they give a name of a town that's not a real town, but you've got to like Google it and work out like what old historical name for a city in the world that could have been, and then you're like, right, okay, I need to fly there to go and find them,
right?
And that's just what the first mission.
That is mad.
It's so cool. And like the second mission was like trying to find out where this historical stamp was produced, like what the image is depicting, and then also where the city that it came from, and that was really cool as well.
Yeah.
Like again, because you have to like look online, try and find the stamp, try and find the ancient Ottoman Empire that it's supposed to be part of. Really, 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 really cool game. And I'm only an hour in, and I will definitely be playing more.
It came out recently on Game Pass, right?
Oh yeah. You bet your bottom dollar it came on Game Pass.
What I really love is that was a genuine question, but I just love how instantly you're like, yes, it did. Well, you can find Game Pass.
Oh, would you believe it? Yes, Jonny.
But no, I saw that a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, that does look really interesting. When I saw you playing it for about 5 minutes, I really like how it makes you Google stuff, because that's what a detective would do. That's what you do. Like,
you look it up.
Yeah, you would look at, if you were in the game, if that game was the real life, and you're like, oh, where is this town? You would use your phone to Google it. Of course you would. So like, I like that. And
it's not that sort of obtuse point and click thing of like, oh, there's a rotten tomato here, and then like 3 hours later you're in this like abandoned circus. You're like, oh, that statue of a clown is missing its nose. Oh, that rotten tomato I found in that random place, I'll put that on its face. And then its mouth opens and you get to walk through. Like, not about that life, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't on Game Pass. Absolutely check it out. Yeah, I don't buy games anymore. I've just subscribed. The Netflix of games.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Chinatown Detective Agency is legit.
It did look pretty cool. It did look cool. Again, I only saw it for about 10 minutes.
Good voice acting as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's always good. Have a good voice acting session.
Indeed. Hey, Jonny.
Yes.
What have you been playing?
I played Resident Evil 3 and I shit my pants a few times.
Lovely.
So it's interesting because so I played Resident Evil 3 over the week. Basically, it's only like a 5-hour game, and I only paid a tenner for it. So I was like, that's fine. If I had paid 50 quid when it first came out, it was 50 quid. I'd have been a little bit disappointed with the fact that it was only 5 hours. But the fact that it was only, again, 10 quid, 5 hours, I got my money's worth. And
do you think that the story doesn't make it worth more despite the length?
I thought the story was good. It's weird, and this is actually something I realized. So apparently there was a big thing about how Resident Evil 2 stays fairly close. The remakes I'm on about stays fairly close to the original game, whereas Resident Evil 3 cuts up like a massive chunk of the original game, and people were very upset and annoyed. Because and it's interesting as well because in the Resident Evil 2 you have Mr. X that chases you, and it's genuinely terrifying because you're just walking around this mansion, all of a sudden you hear this thud and this giant metal man will just come around and punch you in the back of the head.
Stars.
Yeah, and then in Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. Now, Nemesis is probably a bigger name in gaming culture than Mr. X. Does the same thing. But it's not as effective because a lot of it is tied to, like, cutscenes. It's like, you see Nemesis coming and all of a sudden it goes into a cutscene or it comes out of a cutscene and, like, it doesn't have that sort of... It does. Every now and then you'll see Nemesis walking around and he'll chase you. But it's not as terrifying and it's nowhere near as long as Resident Evil 2. Now, again, I've never played Resident Evil 3 before, so to me that was just the game. For people who loved the original game, they were really annoyed. It's like, what have you done? You ruined one of the best parts of the game. Something they did brilliantly in the first game, you've kind of made it worse in the second game. So it was really interesting. But yeah, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed the game. But yeah, it was. I don't know. Maybe I'd be a bit disappointed if I paid 50 quid, but I didn't. Yeah. So like, it felt kind of like, and I know they kind of linked as well. 2 and 3, they kind of happen at the same time. The events are happening around the same time, so it did kind of feel like Resident Evil 2.5 rather than Resident Evil 3. To me personally, like I said, I've never played Resident Evil 3, but it still looked amazing. It played so well, and like, it did make me really excited to play 4. I'm going to try and play through as many of the Resident Evil games before the 4 remake comes out next year. So I got 7. I want to get through 7 and 8. I want to get through Village. 7 and 8 I want to get through, and then I was just looking, and
unsurprisingly, Resident Evil 3 only came out a year after Resi 2.
Yes, it did. Yeah, that's right.
So it feels a bit obviously different in a lot of ways, but kind of that Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask vibe.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, well, we've got this mechanic.
Yeah.
Let's just tell a different story with it.
Yeah, apparently that's pretty much what they did. Like, and it feels, honest to God, when I was playing it, if Resident Evil 2 just went straight into Resident Evil 3, you'd think it was the same game.
Right.
Nothing feels really that different. It all plays, and the sounds and everything. It felt like the same game. And I loved Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was one of my favorite games from last year. That was genuinely bloody awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to move on to next. I've got a couple of ideas about games I'm going to move on to.
Shoot them out.
What was that? So I need to finish God of War. I still haven't finished God of War. Like, every time... I've got a better setup to finish it now because, like, I'm not necessarily... I've got, this new monitor, which is really good to play games on. The quality's really great. So... I'll probably finish God of War soon, or at least get back into it. But I got my eyes on a few games. I wanted to finish a couple of the games in the backlog, which I've done, which is really good. But yeah, maybe God of War will be next. I definitely need to finish. I know. I know, it's mad because like it was. I think when it was one of those things when it came out. It came out roughly the same time, or it came out around about the same time that I was playing like Breath of the Wild and stuff, and that's all I was playing. It came out in 2018, but I was still playing Breath of the Wild in 2018. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I was playing that for about 100 hours. So like, it came out at a time where I was playing I was prioritizing other games, and then like so many other things. I just thought, honestly, I totally agree. I probably do need to start again, but I'm already on like chapter 5.
You don't.
That's the thing. I feel like I read up about where I was, and I read up a couple of chapters backwards to see like what's happened, and I'm just gonna keep going.
The beginning is their relationship, which you already know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, who's this unnamed person that he had to fight right at the beginning?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. And then apart from that, have you got the head yet?
No.
Okay, well then you don't really need to know much more. There's a couple of dwarves, twin dwarves.
Yes, I'm at the dwarves. Yeah. But
their story kind of sort of fills in later on. So.
Yeah, I'm about, like I said, I'm about 4 or 5 chapters in. I think there's like 20. So I've still probably got another 10 hours left, but I'll probably try and blast through that over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that's it. I'm done. And Dav, I don't know about you, but if you're good to go, then I think we should raid.
You know what? I think we should end it.
Oh, okay. Let's end it.
Yeah,
let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye.
At least Starfield does look very good.
Starfield looks amazing. We were both just so happy about that. It looks so good. But yeah, thanks everyone. It was been a lovely little chat. We are hoping for ACP 18 months in a row.
Wow,
that is crazy.
Thanks,
You're
son.
an absolute legend. I'll wait for it to stop it. Hopefully we got Nintendo Direct coming soon. It sounds like there will be in the next couple of weeks, so we're really excited to stream that. But we got some news, like I said earlier, about Square Enix on Thursday. Hopefully we get some Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 stuff. That would be amazing. Maybe. Some Capcom tonight, and we got Xbox tomorrow as well. So loads of news. So we'll hopefully have some really fun stuff to talk about next week. Dav, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. But we'll leave it there. We'll say goodbye to you all, and we'll speak to you maybe in
a couple of weeks.
Yes, a couple of weeks. We won't be here next week. Dav, you might be streaming next week, potentially.
Probably not. It's my birthday.
Oh, there we are. So we probably won't be here next week, but the week after we'll be back. Okay, we'll say goodbye to everyone. Goodbye.
Tatty bye.